Hi everyone, I'm Laura, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 1 point perspective. What is perspective? You might have heard someone say, "What's your perspective?" They're basically asking for your point of view. In art, or however we use the word perspective, we're always talking about looking. So today we're going to get started drawing a horizon line because that is exactly the level in an artwork that represents the viewer's eye line. Before we get started, think about if something was above the horizon line. That should look as though you're looking up at it. If it's below the horizon line, it should look like you're looking down at this. You might have heard of this, for example, like a bird's eye view looking down, or a worm's eye view looking up. The goal of perspective is to create a sense of depth. Oftentimes it's on a 2D flat surface, but we want it to look like our objects are 3D, three-dimensional, that you can go all the way around. I'm going to keep it simple as we get started drawing different boxes. We're going to be drawing one above, on, and below the horizon line. Let's get started. To get started, you'll need a ruler, a pencil. An H pencil would be great, or an HB, because we're not shading, so you don't want it to smudge. I also always like to have a white eraser on hand, especially with perspective drawings, because we will be drawing and erasing the guidelines. To start, you're going to want to select an area that will be your vanishing point. Figuring out your perspective or your point of view all depends on where your vanishing point is. Make sure when you're getting ready to draw your horizontal horizon line that it is straight. We don't want a crooked horizon line. The horizon line is a horizontal line that runs across the paper or the canvas, and it represents the viewer's eye level. It's also something that you might recognize as where the sky meets the ground. The first thing I'm going to draw is a cube above the horizon line. So to get started, I'm going to draw a square. All lines in 1 point perspective drawing are either vertical, horizontal, completely parallel with the horizon line, or they recede towards the vanishing point. So here I am just drawing my box, and then I will be making those connections to the vanishing point next. It's important when you're drawing your lines that recede towards the vanishing point to draw lightly. Oftentimes we need to erase these because in order to make it look like a cube, we don't want it to actually touch the vanishing point, just slant in its direction. So here I'm going to just cross it off, and then it will look more like a cube, and we can erase those extra guidelines. This cube was above the horizon line, which means it's like the viewer is looking up at the cube. Next, I'm going to try and draw this on the horizon, so you'll see that this box is going straight through the line, which I'll have to erase after, and then I'm going to draw one as well below the line. All the same rules apply as they did in the first cube. So every line needs to be vertical or horizontal or recede towards the vanishing point. If you have a line that isn't doing that, that's a good test to know that it's not meeting the 1 point perspective rule. But we have to remember the whole point of perspective is to take something that is two-dimensional and give depth to it and make it look like it is three-dimensional. When you're finished drawing, try to take the eraser and go through and hide those guidelines. And this is something that I learned very early where it pays to not push down hard because no matter how many times we say it, someone is going to be able to see that guideline. If that's happening to you, maybe you can turn that guideline into something creative. We call those happy mistakes. So maybe you add a road or a window. We'd love to see what you've created. Please tag at Art of Math Ed and follow us on Instagram and Twitter so we can check out what you're working on. If you like this video, you should watch the 2-point perspective drawing to take it to the next level. If you're looking to make some Canadian art connections, check out the description of this video. We've partnered with Art Canada Institute to provide resources connecting visual arts and mathematics. Thanks for watching, and I hope you check out more of our Art of Math videos. Stay creative and mathematical.